Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about creation of an EC2 instance, spot instance, VPC in order to host a web server. So to begin with, what is Amazon EC2 instance? It is a virtual server in Amazon Web Services. It stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. It is a web service where an Amazon AWS subscriber can request and provision a computer server in AWS Cloud. Here, I'm going to talk especially about the on-demand EC2 instance creation. So, what is an on-demand EC2 instance? It is an offering from AWS where the user can rent the virtual server and use it to deploy their application. So this will be charged per hour. So let us begin by launching our instance. So this goes to a page where you need to choose the AMI. This is nothing but an operating system platforms template which acts as a base for the instance you create. So I'm going with the default Amazon Linux 2 AMI. And here again I'm going with the default instance type. There are a lot of instance types. Pick the one that suits best your application, and then next I'm going to configure my instance. Since the instance type is on demand, I'm not going to check on the purchasing option as spot instance request. The number of instances again can be based on the need of your application. Also here I have created a lot of VPC. For now I'm going ahead with one of the VPCs which I created. And when I pick the VPC, it automatically selects the particular subnet, and then I'm going to add storage. This I'm just going ahead with the default one. If we need extra volume, we can add it here, and then here I'm going to add a tag. Okay, so here I'm just selecting an existing one which I already created for the security group. You can also go ahead and create a new one if you need, or if you haven't created already. And then I'm going to launch, before which I'm just reviewing. So I'm just choosing my key pair which I already created. And you also have options of creating a new key pair just in case if you don't have or if you've lost it. So now you can go ahead with the launch instances. So this shows your instances are now launching, and in order to see if it's running, you have to go to this page and give it a couple of minutes, and then here you now find it as running. Now let's go ahead and make a connection. I'm already in my EC2 server, so I think I need to connect again because this has to change. I'm using Mac, so I'm using SSH for it. Let's go ahead and connect. Okay, now I've logged into as an Amazon EC2 user. Let me first change my administration rights. Now I have logged in as a root user, and there I'm gonna now go ahead and install my updates. So all of them have got updated recently. There are no updates. Installing few Apache servers, and then now I'm creating a basic HTML file. I have a sample HTML code for my web page, which I'm going to use. And saving it. Now I'm going to go ahead and start the service with this command service http start, and then I'm going to check for the status, and also the config. So now I'm going to copy this and check if my web page is launched. So here you can see my sample web page is being launched. So this is done with the on-demand EC2 instance. So the second part is now creating a spot instance. A spot instance is an offering from AWS, and it allows an AWS subscriber to bid on unused AWS capacity. The hourly price of spot instance is decided by AWS, and it keeps fluctuating depending on the supply and demand for spot instance. So let us go ahead and create a spot instance. So in order to launch a spot instance, you have to first create a spot request. So let me create a spot request first. So we have to click on the request spot instances, and then here I'm going to choose the default because it's good for running web services. And here again the AMI, the operating system platform, the template which you need to choose. I'm going for the Amazon Linux, and here you can choose the instance type if you need. I'm gonna choose one of these instances, and then I'm gonna pick one of the network VPC network which I've already created, and when I select this, automatically that particular subnet and availability zone will be selected, and the key pair name. There is something called additional config. You can leave it as default, but just in case if you want any of the security groups to be selected which you've already created, you can, and this uh, has additional charges applied to it, so make sure you select it, and then make sure if you need it to be selected, and then so I am enabling this auto assign IPv4. Yeah, and this is the total target capacity. That's going to be the default one, and this is I'm applying the recommendations itself for the fleets, and here this is the apply defaults. If you want to bid, you can select your maximum price, and you can bid for the price, but I'm going with the default. So that's going to be default, and this is going to be the charge. You can also download the JSON config if you need it, because sometimes it will be useful in your code. Now I'm going to launch. So when I launch it, I can see the status is submitted. And give it a couple of minutes for it to change to active. So now you can see both fleet and instance being active, one of them being fulfilled and the other being pending. Meanwhile, we can go check whether there's an instance created with our EC2 instances dashboard. And here we can find one of them. So let's just go check our spot request whether both of them are fulfilled. It still isn't. One of them is still pending. So yeah, just one last time, let me check. Okay, it's gonna be fulfilled. Okay, yeah, it is fulfilled now. So now you're in EC2 instance. Spot request instance has been created here, right here, and I'm gonna connect it. So the same step which we used for on-demand request. So I'm now logged in as basically I'm able to establish a connection. So yeah, that is about spot instance creation. Since I have created, I've launched a web server with EC2 instance. I'm not creating a web server with spot instance right now. And also, to create a VPC, I can just give a quick walkthrough of how I created my VPC. But I've already created my VPC, and with that VPC, I established my EC2 instance connection. So this is how you create your VPC. This is the launch wizard. Sometimes when it is more than 5 or more than 4, it does not allow you to create a VPC. I encountered such a thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete one of the one of the VPCs right now, so that I will not have any trouble during my creation. So I'm creating a VPC now right now. I'm going ahead with the default one. Next, I'm going to create my subnet. VPC cloud demo. Availability zone you can select, and then I'm just giving you can give any IP before there. And before going to route tables, I'm going to internet gateways. I'll let you know why. So here, so I'm creating the internet gateway, but it will not be attached. So in order to attach it to the VPC, we need to do this attachment. So once the status changes to attached, and then we go to the route tables and create a route table. So we are creating the route table, then we need to establish connection to make it public. So we are going to add route, one more route to make it public. And this internet gateway is where you pick the gateway you create. So that is the reason I created internet gateway first before I created the route table. So this is it. And also we have to configure our security groups. So this is how you create your security group. You can give any random name just for your understanding, and select the VPC. These inbound rules need to be added. I'm gonna take the custom, and it's gonna be public, and then all I see for that is gonna be public as well. And my SSH, which you can choose IP or from anywhere, and this is the outbound rules, which helps for all traffic. And now we have created our security group. So a quick review. So when you go to your EC2 creation, be it spot instance or you know on-demand instance. So when you're launching an instance and you're selecting on this AMI and instance type, here this network will give you the list of VPCs which you have created. I have already created many, and I just showed you how I created VPC cloud demo. So with this we can go ahead and launch again. So there's also one more option which helps you to create a VPC directly. So I mean alternate option, not one more option, there's an alternate option. So yeah, this is how I did my individual project. I hope it's clear. Thank you.